Alola, welcome to Alola. This Alola form is from Alola. How many times are you gonna say Alola? Alola, 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 Alola. Do you ever find it weird that only Pokemon from Gen 1 got Alolan forms? I certainly found it strange. I suppose because it was an anniversary release, they wanted to fan service the Gen 1ers as much as they could, especially considering they removed gyms. Honestly, one of their best ideas. About 3 years ago, I had an urge to make Alolan forms for Gen 2 Pokemon, and I only got as far as the Solgaleo looking Espeon, so I'm gonna give it another shot. But before we draw, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Some of you guys don't subscribe, and I can see you. I'm aiming for 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I just think that would be very neat. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the Alola Formuoli. I'm in a weird mood today, guys, so buckle up. The first creature to be blessed under the Alola sun is Ladybug. One of my stipulations for these Alola forms using Gen 2 Pokemon is that the Gen 2 Pokemon had to already be in the Alola Pokédex. So I'm taking a bunch of those and revamping them how I best see fit. Not sure if that makes sense. The major change I'm making is that this Ladybug will now be grounded. Now it could possibly still fly, but for the most part this little guy is just gonna be a crawler. A creepy crawly, if you know what I mean. I also made its antennae a little smaller because I imagine it would be crawling in some small caverns and piles of mud, just, you know, bug things. Initially I had it colored in a darker red just to give it a slight change, but I suddenly remembered that ladybugs have various different forms in real life, depending on where they're from and what species they are. So I did some researching and discovered that Hawaii has these really cute lavender colored ladybugs, so I made it a Pokemon. Moving on to its evolved form, yes, we're doing evolutions too. We have Ledian. Alola doesn't have regional variants that evolve into brand new Pokemon. That was only something that they did in Gen 8 onwards, so I'm keeping my ideas fairly in sync with the source material here. I got my Gen 7 hat on. Ledian will also lose its flying type, so I'm going for more of a fighter angle here. This girl gotta punch her way to the top of the food chain in order to survive the big bad Alolan world. The bug bad world, cause it's a bug. I was going for this almost karate-like pose where it has its arms out in a punch with its other arms close by with balled fists. Kinda sick and nasty, but I think it's not looking 100% right. Regardless, I finished up the rest of the body so that I could go back and make the adjustments I needed to make with the arms. I said make a lot of times. I hope this script is making sense. While I was at it, I also changed the legs so that they were in a more dynamic pose. For the fists, I added some depth into the drawing by having them come out at you, like as if she's gonna clock you personally. The colors are similar to Ladybuzz, but I've given it a darker tone and added in a little more red. It's slightly reminiscent of the change in tone between the originals. Now we have the lovely Chinchou. I haven't drawn this Pokemon in about 8 years, so let's see if I still got it. This is another Pokemon where I'm taking away one of its typings. This time it is the electric type. It's still going to be luminescent, however. Overall, I've given it a more rounded and friendlier look. The posing is also a little more playful than its original counterpart, which is really just kind of floating there. It's always really freaking hard to draw evenly spaced curved lines like this. I know some drawing programs just have brushes for this kind of stuff, but I'm living in the Stone Age, so I don't get such luxuries. I can't take myself seriously sometimes. This design is pretty cut and dry. It more or less serves the purpose of being a kind of base for the Alolan Lantern we'll be drawing next. I kept a lot of the same colors as the original Chinchou, but I switched out the yellow for a more cool blue teetering on purple. Or it's pink. I gotta keep it real with you. I have no idea what color they are. Like, it's crazy. If I don't remember the literal moment of coloring it in, then I'm not gonna remember it at all because I'm just too colorblind to look at it and be like, yeah, I know what color that is. God, why is my life so hard? And now for Lantern. This little gal is getting upgraded. Goodbye, water electric football fish. Hello, water fairy. I said all of that really weirdly. I'm gonna keep it in the video. There are not many water fairy types at all. Technically, oh, voice crack there. Technically, Marill and Azumarill are the first ever water fairy types, but Primarina and Tapu Fini are also the very first to be designed specifically as water fairy types. And they're also from Alola, so why not Lantern 2? Not to be confused with Lantern 2. The body is mostly the same, but I gave it a new tail, some heart-shaped fins, and also its antenna, I guess that's what that is now a bit more elaborate and follows a loose heart shape. The light sacs are illuminated by its fairy type energy rather than using electricity. Perhaps it works together with Primarina. Lantern could be some kind of beacon decoy, signaling a spot for sailors to travel to where a Primarina would then emerge and take them. Once again, it has the same colors as its original form, but I gave it pink accents instead of light blue and yellow. What is a fairy type if not pink? Actually, a lot of them, I'm pretty sure. And for my last trick, I bring you Politoed. At first, I wasn't really sure what to do with this guy, but then I had the thought of turning it into a part ground type that lives in the Ula Ula meadow. I could imagine it lurking in a muddy pond amongst the flowers with a thick fog shrouding it, ready to just jump out and eat Ladybug. Generally, I made the body a bit slimmer, but it is now taller as a result. The posing will probably stay the same. It's a weird quirk with some regional form artwork, especially the Alola forms. Many of them do share the same or similar pose as the original counterparts' artwork. I would say it's most likely to make them look more presentable and obvious as being the same Pokemon in marketing material, for example. I gave it drops of mud that fall off its arms, and the swirl on the top of its head will simply swirl the other way. I imagine this could be a way to trick its prey into thinking that they're not in front of it when really they are. The initial idea was to have it be brown with lighter accents to show where the more fluid clay is, but I think it doesn't really suit its environment very well. Sure, it would camouflage well if it were laying on the path or in some grass, but the ponds in Ula Ula Meadow are quite blue, so you'll probably see it in those. Instead, I have made it blue. Lots of blue Pokemon this week. We could make a blue Pokemon group, maybe. Just a thought. The specific blue I gave it comes from Poliwag and its other branched line of evolutions. So it's a kind of a nice callback to its first form and also gives it more cohesion across its evolutionary relatives. Granted, I believe the original design idea behind Politoed is similar to say Blossom, where I think Game Freak wanted a bit of a drastic design difference to give players something new with a familiar Pokemon. Blossom's design makes a little more sense, at least due to the fact that it no longer has any poison in its system, and it's essentially just an upside down gloom. Okay, we're cooking with gas now. I think we're ready to finally see some brand new Alola forms, this time with Gen 2 Pokemon. Starting things off, we have Alolan Ladybug, the 5-star Pokemon, and a pure bug type. It has the Swarm and Stamina abilities and evolves into Alolan Ledian starting at level 22. Its body gets slightly harder each time it endures an attack. When it stops hardening, it will evolve. They can only fly for short bursts of time, which has made them quick runners. Next, it is Alolan Ledian, the 5-star Pokemon, and a bug fighting type. It has the Iron Fist and Stamina abilities. It punches in a uniform fashion. Each strike is swift and hard. It can stun its foes long enough so that it can run away. It soaks its body in moonlight and converts it into energy that it exerts in battle. Meet Alolan Chinchou, the fish Pokemon, and a pure water type. Its abilities are water absorb and illuminate, and it evolves into Alolan Lantern when it's exposed to a shiny stone. It lives deep in the ocean, but will surface to absorb sunlight, which it uses to light up the ocean floor. During a new moon, colonies of Chinchou will congregate on the surface of the ocean and celebrate with a light show. Alolan Lantern is the beacon Pokemon and a water fairy type. Its abilities are the same as Alolan Chinchou's. Should you be lost at sea, look out for a bright light and follow it. That is Lantern. You can tell Lantern's mood by how bright the light on its head shines. When they're happy, they glow brighter. And finally, we have Alolan Politoed, the frog Pokemon, and a water ground type. It has the abilities Earth Eater and Damp. It evolves from Poliwhirl when and leveled up in Ula Ula Meadow. They release a sweet scent from their hair to lure Rabombi. When their prey is close, they jump up and feast. There is a special mud they secrete from the tips of their toes. When they hibernate, they eat it to stay alive. So there we have it, some fresh new Alolan forms for Gen 2 Pokemon. I have no idea where the series is going to go next. Perhaps Univin or Colosian forms are in order. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every single Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live in Mirage Island, just like me. And a grand Alolan shout out to our channel members. Thank you all so much for your support. You make me melee with happiness. That means yellow, by the way. I think that's the color of happiness. There really is nothing more relaxing than the beach.